Content warning. The following show contains smoking, some potty mouth language, discussions of fictitious violence, and a few other things that might make some folks feel some kind of way, as a lot of folks like to say. But we assure you that you're not being attacked. Some of you are just being seen. But with all that being said, viewer discretion is advised. So we starting the music or what? Yeah, you know we're going sluggish today. All right, yeah, let's get it started. Ah. Hey everybody, what is going on today? What is the word? I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower, and welcome to the dark side of the room. Now, this is the show where we talk about nerd stuff, so much nerd stuff, all the nerd stuff that I can actually wrap my little head around. Also, we talk about other stuff going on. You know, we talk about life, like, do you know anything about life, Lisa? And we talk about you guys. Sometimes we even talk with you guys. So thank you guys for showing up today. Thanks for being here, especially on such a holiday weekend, I suppose. Like, it's actually funny because I didn't give myself any holiday time, as it were. I know a lot of people are home from work because they do things like work day jobs and things like that. And today is a holiday, and I didn't even know about that until I was reminded on Friday after the show. And I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to be here for the people. Oh my God. Yeah, I am that guy. Yeah, I'm still going to be here. No, I want to be here for everybody that is around to do the thing. So welcome to the dark side of the room. And if you guys got any questions, comments, or anything like that, I try not to listen to advice because the worst advice is advice. But feel free to leave a comment right here, right there. Or you can always pull up your email and type in backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com. You can also reach out to us humbly over on the app formerly known as Twitter, also Instagram and TikTok, and that wretched hive of scum and villainy known as Facebook. And of course, sorry guys, I'm like all out of sorts today. Like I said, it's a holiday week. I don't know what to do with myself. And of course, if you guys want to hang out with us, talk to us and stuff like that, well, wow, yeah, my mic just went, sorry about that, guys. If you guys want to hang out with us and all that stuff, please leave a comment. This is a live stream and all that stuff, and I love talking to people in the comments, especially when I don't have a co-host on the show with me during the day. Also, if you guys find any value in what we're doing, and I hope you do, all right, and you guys want to help support us, there's a couple of ways that you can do that. Number one, grab the money from Jeff Bezos from your Amazon account and subscribe to us here with your Amazon Prime account, and that would be awesome. That really helps us out a lot. You can also subscribe over on the YouTubes, okay, on those YouTubes. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And if you guys want a little piece of us to take with you, well, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, you could send us a donation, just a one-time thing if y'all don't want a subscription service, because I totally get it. With all the subscription services out there, so many people have a much higher bill for entertainment than we have become used to over the course of our adult lives. You can also, but if you're up for that, you can join the Patreon as well. Or you can head on over, get a t-shirt, get a coffee mug, get some of that merch, and that helps us out a lot. So let's get into today's show. All right, so what we got over here is this weekend, we were hit here in Southern California with a deluge. Yes, a deluge, a torrent, as it were, of conventions. I am dead serious. We had Strategicon by LAX. We had the Long Beach Comic Expo by Long Beach Airport. We also had Anime Expo ChibiCon in Anaheim. Which, I'm not gonna lie, man, that was, that's a lot of places to go in one weekend. And for the life of me, I can't understand why the shows didn't go Friday to Monday. I really didn't. So I made it out to as many of those conventions as I could, which is really expensive because here in Southern California, I can't just say LA because Anaheim is not in Los Angeles County. It is expensive, not just to drive, but also to park. We're looking at $15 to $30 to park at each different venue. I'm going, oh, you guys are getting us coming, going, and all that other stuff. It was killer. So killer. But this week, I'm bringing you guys highlights of all of the conventions and the stuff that I was able to get out to and take care of, and the people that we meet. And we met some really cool creators and a lot of cool, like, honestly, the Long Beach Comic Book Convention, or the Long Beach Comic Expo, was a really good show. Really good show. Although it was so empty this weekend. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I just opened up the conversation with, there was a convention on every corner this weekend. So yeah, with parking and entry fees and all that stuff, there's something in business called diluting your market. And that's what these convention organizers did this weekend. But there is an upside, guys, a serious upside. And it's something that I like very, very much. And that is when there is a small number of people at a convention. One, it reduces the con crud. That, if you guys don't know what that is, it comes down to every single convention is a petri dish of a bunch of people that gather up in one major location. Think about it like a sporting event, but it lasts for days. And that means a lot of people are breathing on each other and sometimes coughing and all that other stuff. And people haven't really been that down for going to conventions since COVID. But even before COVID, we had the con crud, which is essentially like a cold or the flu. Okay. And the really big thing on that was a lot of folks who hit conventions. Like, if you're like me and you have the time and the resources, you hit the convention area around Wednesday and you come back Sunday night. Not because you're hanging out trying to get one last interview or something like that. It's just you don't feel like driving home quickly. Closing ceremonies would actually be kind of cool about these things as well. But it is possible to come home with a cold, all right? Because you're there for days, you're around people, and there's costumes, and immune systems are down, and all that stuff. But the best thing about going to a con that doesn't have a lot of people in it at the time is that mainly the true believers are the ones that are there. And I'm talking the people that actually care about the thing that the comic or that the conventions are about, okay? For years, and honestly, no, we're past a couple of decades now. There's been this big conversation and complaint fest specifically about San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con, about how it's become more about TV and movies, okay? So, like, you get those old heads, and I don't care what you're doing, there's always going to be the graybeards going, back in my day, things were so much nicer, so much better people. People had heart, they had principles. And then you got the people like me, qualified to be an old head, going, no, we didn't. No, we didn't, and quit lying to yourself, okay? These people feel the same way about the stuff that we did. We cared. They care. They just don't care the same way we care because they have different things to care about, okay? Okay. So, but when there is a small convention, okay, with not a lot of Hollywood there, like the Long Beach Comic Expo happens twice a year, okay? There's the spring show, and the autumn show. And this one was super small this year, and I really mean that, like super small. I can guarantee there was almost less than 1,000 people there at any given time. So much so there was a different convention like sharing a wall. So it was a little weird, smaller than I'm used to it being. However, okay, the people that were there because they love comics. Okay, so you get a whole bunch of people of like minds that are there for a very specific reason, all right? And that's really good for the indie producers, like the people of color, the LGBT crews, the ones who make comics about disabled heroes or heroes of color and things like that. And that really opens the door to getting some really cool stuff. Not to mention the small independent merchants, you know, that are just entering the marketplace, trying to get their foot in the door in the main thing. You know, we're talking the essential oil salespeople, the crafters, all that stuff. You know, that's really cool. You know, there's a lot of folks that are out there trying to get their thing, trying to do their thing. And they're really out there building up their fan base from the people that care about the medium. And I am all for that. So, and so yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that today. Letting you guys know we're going to have a shorter show today because it is a holiday, so we're only going for an hour. But yeah, this was a good show, like a really good show. Got some cosplayers out there doing the cosplay thing, and y'all know I love cosplayers. Especially when the cosplayers that we can get out there are really doing their thing, you know, and I mean that, like the cosplayers doing their things. I gotta say, one of the folks that was out there that just blew my mind, was we had a really good Miles Morales out there. I didn't get the pictures, I don't think, but this guy right here, I mean, he literally had like some first generation Jordans. He had G1 Jordans, did everything cool, and I'm like, yeah, that's great. And I got the feeling, like I didn't know who it was under that mask. I didn't know. You know, one, I do know that, you know, they identified as a boy, which was good. Not good that they identified as a boy, just good that I knew. And it really, really hit home with the whole principle of anybody can be Spider-Man, and that was cool. And he's standing over there with our dude, Batman and Alex Ross Batman, which is kind of neat. And this particular cosplay kid, he had it going. I was loving it, loving it, loving it, loving it. And when I say loving it, I literally mean when he got out there to do his thing, he was in character. He was a little bit brash, a little bit funny, and I'm like, you know what, Miles, you do that, man. You do it. Like I said, I didn't even know his name. I just called him Miles. Got a couple of pics with him and Boba Fett, which was kind of neat. And yeah, just to get out there, we had the people doing the thing. That's better. Yeah, we had the people out there doing the thing because they love doing the thing. And passion, guys, that means everything when you're out there. At the end of every show, every single show, I tell folks to put whatever card they're trying to play back in the deck when they're telling you that you can't do what you like doing because of the circumstance of your birth. And I mean that. I sincerely and truly mean that. And we had an interesting moment, a very interesting moment with a young man. Just an old head that showed up. This was the one I had to ask for this picture because, we got the signature Miles in the universe crossover going, hey. All right. So, but yeah, and we had a very cool and interesting young man over here. Here he is with Wonder Woman, not Nubia, Wonder Woman. And we've got Black Vulcan, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember. And it was really, really one of those moments where, I had to make friends with this dude because I don't know if y'all cosplay out there, but a real serious thing when you're cosplaying, one of those feel bad moments that comes out is when you're doing cosplay and nobody understands who you are. Nobody understands who you are. And they're like, I'm sorry, I know you're wearing a costume. And I heard somebody, and I had to be that guy. Okay? And when I say that guy, I had to be that guy. That guy. Oh, I was looking for this. That had to come out. And someone was like, I'm sorry, I know you're wearing a costume. I don't know who you are. And I'm like, bro, this is Black Vulcan. You might be a little young for that, young man. This is Black Vulcan. All right. This is straight up Black Vulcan. Not Black Lightning. Not Black Shock. Not Black Dress Shoes. Not Black Cardassian. Not even Black Klingon. This is straight up Black Vulcan. All right. You can tell by the ears. And I don't mean Tuvok. You see, and I'm like, all right. So back in the 70s, there was a show called Super Friends. All right. And the thing about Super Friends, and it's a real thing. Super Friends was the best superhero cartoon that we had in the 1970s. This was way before Batman the Animated Series, okay? And it was essentially, there we go. Yeah, it was essentially the Justice League put out by Hanna-Barbera. We're talking the same people that gave us Scooby-Doo, because they were the ones that were doing all of the cartoons and all that stuff. I don't care if it was Scooby-Doo. I don't care if it was the Flintstones, or not Flintstones, Yogi Bear, Scooby-Doo, all those dudes. And these guys, man, I'm telling you, this was a thing. Let's check it out here. Now I know you guys are sitting up going, wait, who is that nerd? All right, and what's up with that nerd in the bell bottoms with the freaking towel wrapped around him, right? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? It's important. It's important that they're there. That's Jace. I believe it was Jace. But the show had essentially the Justice League, but it had two teenage kids and a dog, right? Just to show, hey, kids, the superheroes are friendly. So yeah, you're getting at that guy, and it's like, dude, who is that dude? What? All right, you got Aquaman, and you got that dude. Like, who is that dude? But real talk, that was definitely a thing, And him, his girlfriend, his dog, and then Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. All right, and of course Robin, all that stuff, And in the first season, it was just them, and of course they had the teenage sidekicks because it was a kid show. And second season, they decided to get a little diverse. Okay, yeah, because in their diversity, they're like, wow, we got a lot of superheroes and everybody is white. Oh, yeah. And that was when they came out with the challenge of the Super Friends, all right? And the challenge of the Super Friends, they're like, you know what? Let's get some other people in here. Yeah, it is the 70s.
Together from remote galaxies are 13 of the most
Solomon Grundy still want pads.
The Legion of Doom.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. These images have been like the real thing for a while.
Only one group dares to challenge this intergalactic threat. The Super Friends.
There we go. No, Aquaman can't fly. And there we go. Yeah. We got the Hawkman, the Batman. Solomon Grundy. Got the Superman, the Flash. And the Apache Chief. Yeah. I believe it was Tsunami and yeah, let's dance. Dancing underwater. Topo. And we got, the Green Lantern and the bigger guys like that, because you always got to expand it. If you guys grew up on the DCAU, this is why they went from Justice League to Justice League Unlimited. But we had, but back then, yeah, so they decided to get some diverse folks in there. So they brought in Apache Chief, the Japanese hero, and of course, Black Vulcan, because Hanna-Barbera could not get the rights. Stop it. Yeah, because Hanna-Barbera couldn't get the rights to Black Lightning from DC. DC was like, look, we already let you. All right, we already let y'all have Superman and Wonder Woman and all that stuff, but you can't have Black Lightning. Black Lightning is ours. You can't have him. It's the 70s. We need our Shaft guy. All right. So they're like, you know what? Hey, what's going on, Daryl? So you know what? Instead of doing all that stuff, we gonna come up with our own superhero. Yeah, we got our own black guy, and that's where we got Black Vulcan. Like I said, not Black Klingon, not Black Romulan, not even Black Cardassian. All right, we're talking Black Vulcan. All right, and here was the thing, guys. I might be having fun with all this stuff right now, but I flipped out when I saw it because, I'm a little older, and as you get older, you start questioning the Mandela effect. It was like, am I remembering something that didn't really happen? But I'm like, nah, Black Vulcan was real. It was out there, and it comes across with black superheroes and electricity, because that's the superpower we get. We either get bulletproof or electricity, all right? As Black Lightning, Static Shock, Black Vulcan, and Storm, yeah, we just, it's just one of the things we do. But Black Vulcan was one of the first anybody knew about that didn't read comics, all right? And, when the kid came up, I'm like, dude, that's Black Vulcan. And I schooled him on the thing. And the guy almost burst into tears because I recognized him. And that moment, reminded me of why we do what we do, guys. Because seriously, it's a comic book convention. And this is just a dude. Yeah, guess what? It's not movie quality, all that other stuff that comes down. It's a dude that liked the comic book character, that dressed up like him and went to a comic book convention because he was hoping to find some other people that liked the same stuff that he did. And he found us. And I'm like, nah, man, I got you. I got you, man. Because, you know, I was a little black kid back in the 70s going, look, mama, black superhero, I could be, yeah, blah, blah. You know, although I'm really a Spider-Man guy. But yeah, I mean, that was seriously a thing, man. And it made his whole day. And I felt really good about it, you know. And of course, we got our Wonder Woman with our Batman, you know, power couple going on right here, you know. And, you know, I'm going to show you guys the interview that I did with one of the Batman cosplayers because it was a good day. It was really a good day. There was some good comic people, good cosplayers, just seriously. Yeah, seriously speaking, just some good people that showed up to the comic book convention because they love comics and they wanted to do cosplay and look at some independent stuff. And see, I want to talk to you guys about that stuff because it's hard out here on them internet streets, right? Let me tell you guys a story about what happened after the convention closed. I'm outside the convention. I'm having a cigarette, as I'm one to do. And I see this rather attractive young woman wearing a spandex bodysuit that was with the fitness convention next door. Okay? I didn't take any pictures because I'm not that type of guy. But I mean, you could tell from 30 feet away that this woman was an influencer. And she was out there, you know, again, definite winner of the genetic lottery. And she had the voice and she was bouncing and she was talking about all the fitness that she learned about and the diet stuff that she talked about and all of the poses that she was doing. And I'm like, you know what, girl, make your money. Do your thing. Because it's hard on these internet streets. Everything was about clout chasing and stuff like that. Everybody's trying to get attention. Everybody's trying to, you know, get noticed, make a little money so that they could pay their bills. So when I went to this con, it was great to see people who was there just because they love comics. I mean, yes, the exhibitors and stuff were there to make their money. All right, I'm not mad at them. They're out there to make their money. I was out there to get interviews and to spend time with some people. But we can very easily forget about that in this day and age, you know. Sometimes it's all about getting the right pick, all about trying to go viral, all about doing stuff. But here's the thing, y'all. The reason that we're here at Back in the Deck, the reason that I put this whole thing together isn't just to make money and all that stuff, but we use the word community a lot, you know. And when I say we, I mean we as a culture use the word community a lot. All right, I'm part of this community, I'm part of that community, but what's really important about community is communing. You know, getting together with people, doing stuff, talking about things, having painting parties. Yes, even getting into the arguments about how my favorite comic book character can beat up your favorite comic book character. And this weekend at the Long Beach Comic Expo, it was a lot of people getting together to talk about and celebrate comics and the medium of comic art. You know what I mean? Be it writing or, you know, doing line stuff or doing colors or just reading comics and getting stuff out there. And the exhibitors that show up on the exhibition floor to sell their stuff, they're not DC, they're not Marvel, not all the way across the board. You know, we got just a bunch of independent people who do it because they love doing it, who are trying to make a living. And you know what? Isn't that what all this stuff is about? You know, it's really, really important and really good to watch that stuff every once in a while just to go, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with loving something, y'all. And I don't care if it's Star Wars or comic books or Star Trek or 40K or D&D, you know. A small convention can really, and I mean really, bring that to the forefront. Just to say, look, guys, I love this stuff, and I want to be around people that love this stuff too. You know, because real talk, you know, before the clout thing happened and the popularity, and before the stuff went mainstream, there was a real love for the thing. And I'm not saying that the thing doesn't have love nowadays, okay? Because people do love it. And the thing about something becoming mainstream and popular is that it does open the door for more people to love it. And y'all know here back in the deck, we're anti-gatekeeper, all right? But I also want to talk to those of us who want to keep gates because we've been kept out of them for so long. If the thing that we love becomes popular and people like it because it's popular, who cares? All right, who cares? Yeah, it's mainstream now. The way I figure is, yo, welcome to the party. It's not like there's not enough of it to go around. All right, let me check to see who's here in the chat today. So maybe we can get some other stuff out there. Oh, what's going on, Jason814WL? I'm glad that you are here. Welcome. Decker Bloodclaw, my man, it's good to see you. It really is, man. I love that. I love that you're here. So yeah, and of course, Sofa King Super, the king of living room furniture. Love that. Oh, hey GM, what's going on? I'm being watched by my game master because they watch what we say to use them in plots against us later on. Yeah, I see you. I see you. I'm a GM too. So this weekend, we did some stuff over at the Long Beach Comic-Con. I'm going to be posting more stuff, and we're going to talk about them over the course of the week. Because, like real talk, I got some good interviews, and I want to turn y'all on to some independent comics that are out there. Because, one, indie comics is one of the places that it's really at. There is a thing about getting in to indie comics, because let's be real, nobody wants to be the first. But I hear a lot of people talk all the time about how there's nothing new, nothing original. We've seen all this stuff before. Every Marvel movie looks the same. I'm not really into comics because it's just all a bunch of people doing all that other stuff, and you know, nobody stays dead and there are no consequences and stuff like that. But I will say this, y'all, serious talk. You hit the indie scene with tomorrow's mainstream talent, that's where you get the risks. It's just like music, you know, just like film. You get the people that are out there that are hungry to do it, and they're out there writing stories that they want to write and hoping that somebody reads them. That's where you get the good stuff, guys. My example of this was Milestone Comics. You know, Milestone was the jam. All right. And the stuff was so good that the big dudes up at Milestone Comics got picked up by DC, and Milestone Comics got bought out. If you guys like the DC animated universe, y'all got Milestone Comics to thank for that. Real talk. Okay, and I'm specifically talking Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, because Dwayne McDuffie, the founder of Milestone Comics and the creator of Static Shock, Rocket, on the team that created Man-O-War, Icon. It was a black-owned and operated comic book company with a bunch of black comic writers that wanted to write comics about black folks, you know? A little similar with Image, but not quite old to us. See, Image Comics came out because a bunch of successful people at Marvel and DC, being Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, and there was one other, I forgot who it was, but they struck out on their own. It was kind of like a mega group forming from a really popular band. But the indie people out there with books like Bleak Harvest and Conquer the Universe or Die Trying or Who's Bad or Lightning Strike. None of these things you guys have heard of, but you will because we're going to be featuring them this week. All right. These are coming from people that love the medium. They love comics and they want to write their own comics. And real talk, guys, this is how it's done. It's the people that really give a damn about what they write, what they read, and wanting to put their stuff out there. They do it. They pay the costs. They work these crappy jobs to pay for publishing. They argue with other artists and inkers and stuff just to get their stuff out there. One of the interviews that we did was with a couple. Like I said, I'll be posting these over the week because they are some really, really, really good stuff that we came across this weekend. I'm going to pull up one just to give you guys a teaser. Just, gotta find the thing, but I believe it was the Women of Afro. And, yeah, I saw it. I loved it. Now, I'm not gonna lie. My biases are strong when I go to these conventions. So I tend, yeah, there we go. When I go to these conventions, I tend to focus on creators of color or LGBT or disabled. Because yeah. Hang on. There we go. Because the real talk on this, whole lot of people need some exposure. And I'm like, yeah. So let's head over to frolife.com. All right. I saw this and I'm like, oh man, I'm down with it. Yes, a $10 comic for the first time. Yeah, because this is made by a couple that's running the business. And I did an interview with these guys and we're going to be featuring them on Wednesday. All right. And yeah, because I want to see some of this stuff. And again, man, look at that. We got Foxy Brown or Cleopatra Brown or, that kind of thing. And this just looks like some straight up fire stuff. All right. And again, these are the people that are out there making their stuff and saying, look, world, I like comics. I want to be a comic writer. I want to be a comic artist. This is my stuff. Okay. Y'all remember early YouTube? Hey, I'm a filmmaker. I want to be on TV. This is my show. This is what I want to do. This is what we're doing out there. And honestly, since I'm part of HBO Max, i.e. the Help a Brother Out crew to the max, yeah, these people who go out there and make their own independent work and to follow their dreams and to do what they want to do with their adult lives, that's not just good. That is serious inspiration, y'all. Because I will tell you, being, y'all know we talk about putting stuff back in the deck all the time. All right? Because so many people, and this is real, okay? One of the reasons I keep doing these conventions and why I love it out there is I'm aware as both a son and a father of the pressures that people get, y'all. Seriously. When I was young, I loved two things. I loved entertainment and I loved science. Science. I was all about mixing stuff together to see what happens and taking stuff apart. And I grew up in the hood, y'all. So when you tell your elders and you from the hood or the trailer park, hell, sometimes anywhere other than those fields, that you want to be an actor, you either want to be an actor or a scientist that does research into maybe cancer or alternative forms of energy or, sustainability. If you from where I come from, people are putting pressure on you to learn something that will pay your bills. Being an actor is hard. Have you considered being a carpenter? You know, it's hard to get work out there. Be a plumber. There's always work at the post office. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And this comes from any field. Okay, any field that doesn't tear your body to shreds. Because why don't you join the military? You can't be a comic artist. They don't make any money. Or actors don't make enough money to live on, blah, 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 you know, because people are scared that you're going to starve to death and all that other stuff. So to go through all of that, to take all that pressure and go, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to make a comic book anyway. I'm going to make an independent film anyway. You know, I'm going to do something and I'm going to get out there and I'm going to try and sell my stuff. I'll tell you. AC/DC said it's a long way to the top if you want if you want to rock and roll. It's real talk. You know, and if y'all want to go out there and write your own game or be a musician or be a comic writer or whatever, I'm not saying you can do it. I'm telling you to do it. If you don't think you can do it, learn and do it anyway. But that does come at a price. It's difficult. You know, there are blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. Am I going to be able to eat? Will anybody like it? I'll tell you guys, when I started this company, this channel, people kept telling me, no, it's not going to work. How are you going to stand out in the market? What makes your stuff different from all this stuff? And I'm like, you know what, y'all? Being on the internet will give me access to a global audience. And I am willing to bet dollars to donuts that there's enough people that like the stuff that I like to tune in, interact with us to a point where I can pay my bills and do some good. On the planet of 3.4 billion people, I think there might be enough people out there, you know. But the pressure comes in with the don't try it unless you're assured success. And I'm sorry to tell you guys, success is never assured. Okay, your industry could dry up. Strikes can happen. Fields could change. Industrialization killed agriculture. You know, corporate takeovers is killing real estate. The world changes. All right. Now, I'm not saying be haphazard and just go out there and go, blah, I'm gonna do it. But if you're looking to be secure financially or whatever, that stuff, and that's the reason that you don't do what you want to do, then I'm sorry to tell you guys, y'all need to put that card back in the deck. Get the day job, okay? But don't let the day job be your ruler. Okay, one of the reasons that I loved running in to Black Vulcan right here, loved it. It's not the best costume. He did not spend months and months and months slaving away with Warbler and fiberglass and sanding and learning how to use 3D printers and all that stuff. No, it's a store-bought costume. Doesn't fit him tight. And you know what? He's an older dude, a little bit older than me. But you know what? He loves the character. He put on the costume. He went out into the world. That's why we do it. That right there, guys, is how it's actually done. You want to write your story? Get out there. Write your story. After the show. After you subscribe and share this and all that stuff, then write your show. You want to paint your minis? Paint your minis. All right? Know that it ain't going to be box art quality your first time. You ain't got the lights or the freaking 8K camera to freaking take the pictures of it, and you probably don't know how an f-stop works. Don't matter. Do it anyway. And when you do it again. And when you do it again, do it one more time, because every time you do it, you're going to get a little better. Okay? You're going to get 3 inches closer to where you want to be. Put on your store-bought costume. Get out to that freaking convention. Make some friends. You know, this guy, again, I could tell he was feeling a little down in the dumps because nobody knew what costume he was. But when he saw me explode on, the costume that he was wearing and how much I knew about Black Lightning or Black Vulcan, I knew I was going to make that mistake. I could tell everything about his day was made worth it, because I know the character. I love that the character exists. And he pulled me aside and he told me thank you. He seriously told me thank you for knowing who that is and all that stuff. I made his day because, real talk, I was happy he got out there and just did his thing. So with you guys, I'm saying get out there. Do your thing. If you ain't perfect at it, dude, I will tell you this. I'm a little self-conscious about my dad bod. I got my dad bod. Not enough to go to the gym. All right. So, and I hate being cold, and I have very, very sensitive nipples. So once I get cold, they just turn into diamonds. So I was not going to cosplay Martian Manhunter for a long time. I love that the art changed his outfit so that he's not wearing Speedos, pirate boots, a bandolero, and a big cape. I'm glad they changed his thing so now that I can cosplay him and feel comfortable. Okay, and when I say feel comfortable, yeah. Again, when I do get cold, my nipples start going. It actually hurts. I'm like, oh, this is not cool. Not because I'm afraid of being laughed at, because I still live in the hood, and when I walk out the house, what you doing with that blue hair, bruh? That kind of thing. But when the day comes where I feel like putting the energy back into cosplaying, I'm going to. In fact, I'm working on my Dr. Fate helmet right now. It's in the design stages. So the fact of the matter is, guys, yeah, I'm all Mr. Motivational today because I got to be at a convention, a small convention, full of a bunch of people that just loved what they do. The artists and the comic the comic artists, the comic writers, the cosplayers, the fans. Real talk, like I said, I can pretty successfully say there were less than 1,000 people at this convention. And when I say convention, I mean it was $15 to park at the convention center. Okay, this like real talk. It was rough. All right, it was rough. But the people that were there because they wanted to be there. Really wanted to be there because they love comics. They love comics as much as I love comics. They love putting on costumes as much as I do, and they just wanted to meet some people that felt the same way. Because again, it's not like there weren't options. Strategicon was happening at the same time. Anime Chibi-Con was happening at the same time. And it's Burning Man weekend. Not to mention, there's always the option of staying home. Staying home in your comfortable house, watching video on demand or your DVD collection. So these people got out the house. They went to the convention because they wanted to be there. And that warms my heart so much. Okay, guys? So, if you guys were to take anything from today, anything, all right, it is me telling you that like what you like, love what you love, do the thing that you've always wanted to do. Screw the results, okay? It doesn't matter whether or not you're going to make any money off of it. Doesn't matter if you'll be able to send your kids to college with it, all that jazz. All right, there are two types of people that become successful in business and entertainment. Type 1 are the people that are in it just to make money, and they focus on making money from a business standpoint. Okay? And then there are the artists who give a damn. All right? And I mean that. The ones that go, I love this, and I will keep going. We're talking the legendary writers like Marv Wolfman, Barbara Kiesel, Russell Nolte, Mike Wellman, David Avalone. We are talking the people that have been fighting that fight to do what they love doing for a living for decades and pulling it off. Is it fame? Is it fame? It doesn't matter. Okay? All these things are byproducts of really following your passion, fighting the fights, and feeling the pain. All right? You guys know I don't make a lot of money doing this, and I don't mean that in the YouTube way. I literally mean I don't make a lot of money. I have to go to a warehouse job, but I love being here with you guys, and I'm going to over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know how to make money off this. I don't know how to go viral. I don't know how to do anything. But I love talking to you guys about this stuff. I love listening to you guys about games and toys and comics and all the nerd stuff that I got beat up for growing up. And I love that it's becoming more and more mainstream. One day I'll make a living off this, but I'm going to still do it. I'm still wearing my Black Vulcan costume, and I'm checking. And I'm really challenging you guys to do the same thing. Do it because you love it. Now, y'all know that statement? Well, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Lies, lies, lies. It is so not true. If you do what you love, you work harder. You work longer. And unfortunately, because the world that we live in is a post-apocalyptic hellscape, most of the time you work for less. Okay? Until you don't. Until you succeed. You know? And the stuff that we love, the painting, the writing, the reading comics, we do get that fulfillment. We get that self-respect. Okay? In the same way that we don't when we finally get through all those files that we have to file in the office, in the cubicle that we work into. Yeah, no, we work there to make sure that we can keep the lights on. All right? And so that we can keep doing what we love. So keep doing it. All right, guys? And if y'all got anything to say to me about that, well, y'all being real quiet in the chat right now, and that's fine. But if y'all got anything to say to me about that, then send your emails to backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com. You can also yell at me on Twitter. That's fine. I don't care. @backinthedeck. Hit me up on Instagram, where all of these pictures will be posted and tagged with all the people that I was able to get the information for over the course of the weekend. And of course, hit me up on that clock app, the Ticket to Talks @BIDPY. And of course, join Deckers on the Book. That way you guys can talk to me a lot better, a lot quicker, and all that stuff. I want to say thank you to the people that showed up here. Keep doing your stuff. Hey, what's going on, guys? Especially Ahoy Hoy Zenithade, Sofa King, Decker Bloodcraw, Mtem. Thank you, guys. I made it a short day today. One, because it's a holiday, and two, I got to get back to editing the footage from this weekend and editing episode 1 of Happy With It. So I want to thank you guys for showing up. Thank you so much for doing this stuff. Zan, if you could throw up the invitation to the Discord, I would appreciate that. And yes, seriously, guys, if anybody tells you that you can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, disability, neurodivergency, or your budget, because if you've ever been to a trailer park, you know it's walking distance from the hood. You can tell those people to take any of those cards, any one of those cards that they are trying to pull on you, and put it back in the deck. This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys for joining me. Keep appraised this week of the YouTube channel here on Twitch, and hit us up over on Spotify and wherever else you find our podcast or your local podcast. We're on all those things, and thank you guys. So I am Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you, and we will see you next time on the dark side of the room.